Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate it. And if you guys do find any of the information in this video valuable, useful, or interesting in any sort of way, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on to never miss a future update, as I am always talking about XRP, HBAR, QNT, and so many other utility gems. So with all of that in mind, let's just jump in and let's talk about the overall market. So I have a ton of things to talk about specifically regarding banks, XRP, custody and stuff like that. But first and foremost, I do have to address the market, right? So like tomorrow is Monday, the monthly candle close. But with Monday being the monthly candle close, the thing that's funny about that is also the main opening for indices. It's the start of the week for the indices. Over the weekend, price action in crypto could get a little bit volatile simply due to the fact that there's no looming factors in terms of the stock market. Well, now we have Monday being the monthly candle close. There's a lot of things happening around the world. We've seen the stuff with Russia and stuff. All of this kind of, sort of craze media attention about things like that could lead to, catastrophic, price action on the stocks. So I'm not going to say here saying, prepare now for a massive market crash. No, I'm just saying make sure to regard the indices as well. I know it is the monthly candle close. I'm expecting some green. I'm actually expecting a little bit of a volatile open leading into a nice close. If we can get Bitcoin back above 40K for a nice monthly close above like 41K. 41K is my main target point. That would be very bullish. Now XRP also has some concerns around it. For example, I'm not going to sit here and say XRP looks extremely bullish at 61 cents. Absolutely not. We actually have a long ways to go. Currently, I'm awaiting 80 cents to be retested on XRP. We are still a very far, ways away from that. If we're talking about our current structure to, 80 cents, we're looking at like, a 31.55% jump. If we're talking about, that nice resistance point going all the way back to September 6th, which is $1.40, we're looking at 131% just there alone. Now, I do still have 53 cents labeled on the charts, like 52.78. That is our, summer lows. Basically, it's not even the full summer lows. The full summer lows are like 48 cents. That was a juicy candle back there for those individuals who wanted to buy XRP at a nice little discount. But this is the support zone that we found in July. This is pretty much 53 cents, the demand zone, if you will. It's also the demand zone before we went to, almost $2 back in April. You could pretty much see that. Now, the only thing that is concerning to me is that we have a little bit of ways to go, diminishing volume, and of course RSI is a little bit weak. So I'm just saying, if we do have a little bit of a volatile opening on Monday and Bitcoin decides to drop 8%, say for so to like 35K, then we would watch altcoins closely as they could drop 12%. If we're talking about like a 12% drop, again, this will pretty much bring us almost directly to that 53 cent zone. And it's not like exact, like I don't even have it exactly at our current price, but like that's a 13% drop almost to exactly 53 cents. I'm just saying, I would prepare for something like that to happen. It's not going to be a disastrous crash throughout the market or anything like that. I'm just saying, prepare for volatile rides on, of course, tomorrow. So have some fiat on the side if you have it. If you don't, just kind of look away from the charts, if you will. Maybe pay attention to it if you want. But of course, kind of prepare for either side. Now, I do want to talk to you guys about the Q4 market report from Ripple. There's actually an article that goes along with this. It's talking about the ballooning sales of XRP to $717 million in Q4. I thought this was fairly significant, to say the least. It means that ODL adoption is happening greatly. In fact, we do see here notably sales attributed to on-demand liquidity customers surpassed $1 billion in the fourth quarter. This underscores the growth of the company's payment solution. And of course, it did see a 46% quarter-to-quarter increase. And we also see that they also purchased another $321.97 million worth of XRP in the secondary market. So listen, in my mind, when we're talking about ODL volume, I think that it's great to note that we're going to still see some incredible updates throughout the XRP community, especially with the XRP ledger. More notably, NFTs on the XRP ledger. I think that this is great to see, this actually happened in January this month in terms of the DevNet release of XLS 20D. I'm actually very excited for NFTs because we have been seeing a ton of NFT growth and adoption happening even within the Hedera market. I've talked to you guys about that greatly, but we also see, global regulations. There's a lot of things happening right now around crypto. It's pretty crazy to say the least, how far we have come since 2021 alone. Like last year was crazy in terms of crypto adoption and crypto growth, and I do believe that it's not going to slow down. I think that we could see 2022 probably being one of the biggest years for crypto, but there's a ton of looming factors around crypto right now, especially even in terms of like the global CBDC momentum. There's a ton of talks about tokenization, digitization. I'm just excited for that because also in terms of what Ripple's overall goal was with XRP, a lot of that is coming to fruition. I mean, if you guys have been around for a while in terms of, doing research on Ripple and XRP, you'd understand that their overall goal is to have banks, custody XRP, aka hold it, which we even go back to 2017 where David Schwartz was talking about this actually. We see this, tweet saying why the anti-Bitcoin is loved by banks and hated by the internet, talking more so about Ripple. Pretty good, write-up about Ripple and XRP and why the banks and financial institutions don't care what the internet thinks about it. Smart money equals big money. And we also see here, let's say you own 100K Ripple, that's like a drop in the ocean, right? How could you benefit from the bank adoption of Ripple? The banks are not going to buy it from you as the prices stay the same for years. I'm just curious, and we do see here, do you want to answer this? Talking more so about David Schwartz, and we do see here, either the banks hold XRP or they don't. If the banks hold XRP, that adds to demand. If the banks don't, then they rely on market makers who hold XRP. And if XRP becomes a significant settlement currency, which is their goal, companies that want cheap payments will hold it because they'll only have to pay for the from XRP half. Again, all possible drivers of demand. Either way you look at it, right? From overall the use cases behind Ripple utilizing XRP, we actually go back a little bit to 2019, in fact, because again, David Schwartz talks more so about can banks hold XRP. And we also see, says financial institutions can avoid regulatory hurdles. We actually see here, in the future, I'd like to see banks set up an entity that's not technically a bank, but within their corporate umbrella to hold their XRP for them. For now, solutions don't require them to hold because XRP flows from one exchange to the other directly. It gets around the difficulty a bank has in holding an asset that's volatile and that is legally considered a commodity. There are often regulatory obstacles to a bank doing that even briefly, but they can employ a non-bank to do it for them. They just structure it so that the non-bank has the exposure to the volatility and legally owns the XRP. The bank pays the non-bank a fee calculated to allocate the revenue as needed. Typically, the bank and the non-bank would be under common ownership, but not necessarily. So in general, when we're talking about banks avoiding potential regulatory issues, I think that this option here would probably be the best. But if we are talking more so about regulations, I think it's going to allow banks to actually hold XRP and utilize it in a way that we pretty much have been waiting for. If we do see banks hold XRP, it does allow for massive demand, but even if they don't, it also allows for massive demand. And for those individuals out there saying, well, banks are not, utilizing XRP right now, I actually have a little bit of a surprise for you in this video. What we do see here, the downside of this setup is that you need a very high level buy-in at the bank for them to be willing to jump through the hoops it takes to set this up. A possible simplification, might be for Ripple or another company to act as a non-bank and technically own the XRP. So, right now, Ripple's selling their, on-demand liquidity, like these on-demand liquidity sales from this markets report is to on-demand liquidity customers, banks, major fintech clients as well. This all goes hand in hand with ODL adoption. We've been seeing that grow astronomically in this year. And of course, if we're talking more so about banks, we look here, right? XRP is everywhere. And this goes from HSBC, Again, payments, DLTs can streamline end-to-end value transfers. Talking more so about, for example, Ripple's XRP ledger provides real-time cross-border payments. And we also see from here, Department of Financial Services, New York State. Again, Ripple XRP approved for custody is not there, I don't think, at least. Or actually, no, it is there, but approved for listing is not there. In terms of XRP, a lot of these are just examples on how it could be utilized, but we also have to go back to that screenshot from yesterday's video. So I actually screenshot it just for you guys, but we do see here uncertainty with delays, many fees, opacity and vulnerabilities, as Brad Garlinghouse has said, pointing to Citi, HSBC, and Chase at the top of Swift. They're making a lot of money from other banks. We talk, to banks, and 99.9% of them want Ripple to be successful because they're sick of paying these guys. And these are just three main, banks, and these are actually huge banks. I've talked to you guys about HSBC in the past. 40 million customers overall, 64 countries as well. It's a very large banking system. It's actually one of the world's largest banks out there. And we do see, of course, they have 194,000 holders, and they're in 130 countries and territories. So again, fairly large bank. And this is one. Also, HSBC, they are mentioning XRP. They know about Ripple's XRP, and they know about how incredible it is, because down here we actually see using tokens that represent central bank currencies. In foreign exchange, HSBC's FX Everywhere tool processed more than 3 million intercompany FX transactions worth $250 billion in its first year. In just its first year. And of course, we do see Chase, right? Chase Bank. Again, another large bank. These are all these three named banks here because they are at the top of Swift. These are the banks that are transacting the most. Okay, we do see here are more than 4,700 branches, 16,000 ATMs. Like, this is a huge company. These are huge. They're serving nearly half of Americans, or America's households. So this is a huge, bank as well. And then of course, Citi, supporting more than 100 countries and jurisdictions, uniquely enabling our clients from Fortune 500 companies. Again, all of these go hand in hand. 13,000 institutions, including 90% of the global Fortune 500 companies. These are huge banks. And again, largest proprietary global network that facilitates $4 trillion of transaction flows daily. $4 trillion worth of transaction flows daily through their physical presence in 96 countries, trading desk in 77 markets, and clearing custody network in 63 markets. These are just some of the few biggest banks, okay? And 38 of the world's largest 100 banks have tested, integrated, or even invested in Ripple's remittances technology. This goes back to January of 2020. This is 2 years later. Imagine how many other banks are now working with Ripple around the world. I just want you all to understand that HSBC was actually testing with Ripple, okay? That means these 40 million customers, right, in 64 countries, spanning around the world, okay, was testing Ripple, okay? And this is just one bank. And look at all the other banks here, okay? And I'm sure by now we have a lot more, names on the board. Of course, maybe some of these have, sort of fallen out because of the SEC lawsuit. But you also have to think about it like this. What if this lawsuit was gone tomorrow? How many names do you think Ripple would have under its belt already? Because we know the clear evidence behind Ripple's technology utilizing XRP. We know how fast and efficient, payments could be utilizing something like the RippleNet, overall use cases of on-demand liquidity. Okay? Everybody always says that this is a rival of Swift. It's going to kill Swift. It's going to be this, that with Swift. Understand that Ripple's overall goal isn't to kill Swift. It's to integrate with them to help streamline payments in general and unlock that capital. They've never said that they want to kill Swift. They never want to, they never said that they want to replace Swift. This is why these banks, these huge names are huge. Because first off, banks, in terms of 99.9% of them, want to use Ripple or want Ripple to be successful, I should say, because they're sick of paying these higher up banks. These major banks are making money off of these payments. That is a problem. That's also the main issue, in my opinion, why Ripple was targeted by the SEC. It's because it wants, if you're a banker, you don't want Ripple because it's going to stop you from making a ton of money off of these transactions. But these transactions are extremely inefficient, extremely, it's astronomical, the fees that people are paying on some of these cross-border payments. The settlement times are extremely slow. This is why Ripple is disruptive, okay? It's also the main reason why Ripple is targeted, because they're going after the entire financial system. This is why I invest in XRP, because I understand the use cases behind it. I also understand the efficiencies behind it, and I also understand the scale of some of these banks. If, of course, for an example, Ripple integrates with Swift and allows for Swift to make a lot more efficient payments. Of course, there's a lot of talks about that already going hand in hand. Even if we don't integrate with Swift and maybe we don't, allow Swift to be more efficient, I'm totally fine with that. We already have a lot of leading names on the board with, Ripple already. We already had the top 38 of the 100 banks. We already have these liquidity hubs that we're pretty much building out, which is going to be a huge use case as well. We have NFTs. There's so many use cases that are still being built into XRP, aka the XRP ledger, I should say, which is powered by XRP. And there's so many other use cases within Ripple as well. I'm not too concerned if we just only disrupt the cross-border scene. Yeah, that's a lot of money. It's $156 trillion, but there's also a ton of other use cases within, Ripple and, of course, utilizing XRP. So with all of that in mind, to really kind of wrap this up, I think that XRP adoption is going to continue to ramp up at this massive 46% quarter-to-quarter rate. I think that we're going to see Ripple continuing to make massive waves around the world, especially in terms of disrupting the current financial system. I mean, listen, we can't continue to use a 600-year-old system that is pretty much just extremely outdated, with just a little bit of a facelift, if you will, which of course Brad Garlinghouse talked about in that article from yesterday. But in general, will banks custody XRP? Will banks hold XRP? Well, we look at this tweet and it really kind of just tells you, listen, why wouldn't they hold XRP, right? Because if XRP becomes the significant settlement currency, he is even saying companies that want cheap payments will hold it because they'll only have to pay for the from XRP half, which again goes hand in hand with the overall payment pretty much system with on-demand liquidity. It's going to allow for a lot more efficiencies. A lot of people think that, well, they have a choice to use XRP or not. Well, if you use it, guess what? It allows these payments that are already cheap because you're utilizing RippleNet. But it's going to allow these payments to be a lot more cheaper, a lot quicker, and a lot more scalable and sustainable. And we do see those efficiencies labeled here. So it would be a no-brainer move to use XRP. I think it's like a 30 or 40% increase in terms of cheaper payments and faster payments. So it's a no-brainer move to use XRP if you're utilizing on-demand liquidity. So with all of that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.